Hello everyone, how you doing today? This is Shinjoi and I'm going to be bringing you a guide for leveling a Saboteur, questing, and soloing, basically from levels 1 through 30. Give you a brief overview of Saboteur here. Saboteur is a ranged DPS class in the Rogue calling. It uses charges to build up combo points, and then uses detonate to set off those charges, dealing burst damage. Basic look at the build here. When starting out, you want to put 5 in nimble fingers to increase your dexterity bonus. Put another 5 in remote clipping, increases the range that you can apply your charges to a target and increases the range of your detonate. And then you want to put 3 in silent setup. And what this does is each point gives you 33% chance of not adding threat to a target when applying charges. When you have the full 3 points, you can apply charges to a target initially without any threat build up at all until you detonate those charges or send in pet, whichever you like. After that, go with 2 into improved blast charge, ignores 50% armor. 5 points into explosive power, increase the damage of your charges by 15%. Then 5 points into improved detonate damage by 25%. At that point I go 1 point in a charge booster. My next 2 levels I will put 2 points into improved spike charge. Then I will put 5 points into bomb specialist. That right there gives me 31. Put 1 point into annihilation bomb. And then the trapper. Your traps no longer have a cooldown. The reason for that being is at 32 you want to pick up booby trap, which is an AoE trap which you lay down, which at that point makes AoE leveling definite possibility, definite way to go once you reach level 32, and then follow up with residual shrapnel. That's a little bit farther than level 30, but that gives you my plan up to this point with putting in my points into the Saboteur tree. My extra points I dump into Nightblade for Blazing Fury, increases damage of your combo point generating ability, which are your charges, and then Coup de Grace, which is 15% damage increase to your finishers, which would be your detonate. After that I would go 5 points into Eagle Eye for increased crit chance. I don't really believe there's anything over here. 3 points into Fire and Death Attunement, increase damage from your attacks by 1%. But that's getting fairly high up in the tree at that point. Now the main reason I took Ranger and Nightblade. Nightblade I pointed out, increased damage to combo point generators and your finishers. Ranger up to level 30. Take Ranger for Razor Beast. Razor Beast can only be increased up to level 30 without putting in 24 points into the Ranger tree, which is much farther than we want to go at this point. Also, Ranger gives you your ranged weapon as your primary weapon for calculating damage when it comes to things like blast charge, detonate, all of your abilities basically. And your ranged weapons typically have a higher DPS than your one-handed weapons that you would normally use as a rogue. Another reason that I moved over into Nightblade is you have Conceal, which is basically your stealth ability, and you have a ranged sap with Lost Hope. Extremely helpful when leveling to get past densely packed mobs, or to just enable taking them out a little bit easier so that you can take 1 or 2 mobs out instead of having to possibly take 3 or 4 out at a time. Makes that aspect of your leveling or soloing quite a bit easier. Now I want to give you a brief demonstration of how a Saboteur works here. I'm going to show you first without the pet, so that you can see how this works. Now you noticed I do not have a ranged weapon equipped. The main reason for this being is that the ranged weapon that I have is from the current world event going on, and the damage that it does is above and beyond what a normal ranged weapon at this level would be, so I am dependent upon my single-handed weapon, which is also from the world event that is currently going on, but is more in line with a ranged weapon at this point. Now to start out, lay down 2 spike charges. As you can see, they puts a dot on the target. 3 blast charges. At this point I'm ready to detonate, but first lay down a sticky bomb, detonate, blast charges. Oh, better watch it here. And then detonate, bam, takes him out, he never hits me, easy to go. Show you with the pet here, so that you can see how it is a lot easier once you have a pet, especially on a single target. I can just apply my blast charges, have my pet go in whenever he wants. There we go. Detonate, couple more blast charges, detonate, and he's done. It's a little bit quicker, definitely keeps you from getting hit, plus the pet gives you that extra measure of, I guess you say, safety, especially when AoE pulling. Sorry, a little bit hectic today, so I am forgetting some key elements for things like this. Applying my shrapnel charges, have my pet move over, attack that guy, go back, finish applying shrapnel charges to him, bomb, detonate, shrapnel charges. My pet's at roughly half health at this point. Bomb, not working, detonate, couple more shrapnel charges, bomb, detonate. They're both dead, never even reached me. And that is that for that. It's all a single target action, with and without your pet. Little AoE action there. It's all good to go. And next up, I'm going to show you how to take out an elite of your level. It is possible with a Saboteur build. It involves the pet and kiting using the sticky bomb. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, here we go. Pet's back up. Sorry, I had to pause it there for a second. But pet is on passive. Spike charges this time. Get that AoE going. Send pet in. He hits. Detonate. It's not going to be nearly as big of a blast that time. Pet's dropping pretty fast. Detonate. Adhesive bomb. Detonate. Boom. One more, and he's gone. There we go. That's how it's supposed to work. Took him out. No problem, guys. No problems. See, it's doable. Without that pet to buy you that little time, though, it's tough. And you can only pull 1 elite at a time at this point. Higher up, of course, things might be, you might be able to take on 2, but I doubt it. Final mobs on miners are quite often elites. I have found those to be much tougher. They generally have more hit points. So, as a recommendation for soloing rifts, I would stop at stage 4 with the Saboteur at this point. Well, okay. Something I wanted to point out in case y'all didn't realize it when I was doing the single target by myself here. Is that I did use a spike charge to apply a dot initially. 2 spikes, 3 blast, sticky, detonate, dot, going ahead, apply a couple more blast charges to him, finish him off, detonate, he's dead. Alright, the reason I applied the spike charge is something I found out earlier levels, which will really help you out once you get spike charge, which is fairly early in the tree. I believe it's 6 points. is that the spike charge, 2 spike charges on the target, you will get around 3 dots off after you detonate before you finish the target off. So I'll apply 2, 3, just like before, and then normally I would detonate. Using the sticky bomb, apply 3 more blast charges, kill them, you get 3 ticks of the spike charge on there for your dot, which actually ends up doing more damage than 2 blast charges that you would put on there. And what I was finding in lower levels was that I would have to put 5 blast charges, detonate, 5 blast charges, detonate. You're talking 10 charges, you're talking upwards of 12 to 14 seconds. And what applying that spike charge, the 2 spike charges allowed me to do was to eliminate 2 to 4 seconds of that time in taking out a mob. Speeds things up a little bit, plus it eliminates the amount of damage that you yourself are possibly taking. Makes it a little bit easier on you all around. This was very helpful, considering I did not have silence set up yet. So as soon as I threw a charge on there, the mob was aggroed onto me. Now, being that we have Ranger and we have our pet, it's not as big of a deal. But say that instead of Ranger, you decided to go into Blade Dancer, or you want to move into Assassin to where you wouldn't have the pet, that is a viable tactic for you to use. Now, something I want to get into, something a little bit above the purview of this guide, is that Saboteur is one of the builds that you can max out and put 51 points into. The 51 point talent is worth it. Rapid setup. When activated, the next charge ability automatically attaches 5 charge and adds 5 combo points to the enemy. How sweet is that for a burst setup? Whether you're doing PvE raiding, dungeoning, you're on the boss, you're in that last 20%, 25% burst phase, it's a major help. You're doing PvP, you want to lay massive burst into your opponent, there it is. 51 point sab. It's definitely viable. Something I would look at doing if I am going to go 51 point sab, I would stick with Ranger, put my 10 points in Nightblade to finish that out, another 5 points in Ranger for your Eagle Eye, and then you have another point that you can place here in Fire and Death Attunement for an extra 1% damage. You'll be maxing everything out. Landmines is your 31 point talent, sets 4 landmines around the rogue. Just another bonus to the rogue AoE leveling that I'm going to show you coming up here in the next week or so. And that is it for this guide. A little overview of the build here. Showed you some single target tactics, multi-target AoE without the use of booby trap or annihilation bomb, using the shrapnel charge, the fragmentation bomb, blast charge, and detonate. Hope y'all enjoyed this guide. Please comment good, bad improvements that you think I could add. Any tips or tricks that you yourself have learned while leveling up or playing a Saboteur rogue on Rifts. This is Shinjoi. Y'all have a good day. Peace out. See y'all again later on.